In the 1980s, the streets of Benin City trembled at the mention of one name, Anini. He wasn't just a robber, he was a shadow in broad daylight, a ghost to many police and a nightmare to civilians, and a symbol of fear that gripped Nigeria. So he robbed banks in broad daylight, he gunned down police officers like flies, and he wrote letters to tout government. And for almost 2 years, he turned Nigeria into his playground of blood. But the real question is, who was Anini really? And how did one man beat Nigeria police and bribe top officials and walk freely while killing dozens? This is the story they tried to bury, but I dug it up. I investigated the rise and the bloody fall of Lawrence Anini, the most feared armed robber in Nigeria history. And what I found will shock you. Lawrence Anini was born in the early 1960s in a small village that is presently Delta State, Nigeria. From a young age, he lived on the edge, hustling, surviving, and mastering the art of the street. By his late teens, Anini moved to Benin City, where he worked as a taxi driver, but the wheel soon became his weapon. He learned the city like the back of his hand, and every corner, every alley, every escape route was in his hand. And that was where the story began. Anini wasn't just another street boy. He was smart, bold, and dangerously strategic. When he joined forces with Monday Osubo, a fellow gangster, and they recruited gang of ruthless young men, and a new chapter in Nigeria crime history was written. Between 1984 to 1986, Anini's name sent shockwaves across Nigeria. He wasn't just robbing banks, he was executing police officers, blocking highways, and mocking the law in broad daylight. He once robbed multiple banks in a single day and then left an handwritten note daring the police to catch him. In Benin City, businesses closed very early and transport workers were terrified, and every night came with a gunshot, sirens, and stories of death. The media called him the Robber King, and in homes, people whispered his name like a curse. But Anini didn't just terrorize, he controlled. He paid informants inside the police and he bribed officers. Some say even top officials are involved. He made it impossible for them to catch him. He was a ghost, protected by corruption and fear. The Nigerian police were embarrassed because how could one man outsmart them repeatedly? Report says Anini and his gang were responsible for over dozens of bank robberies, countless deaths, and the brutal execution of policemen on duty. The fear got so bad that the then head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida, reportedly summoned the Inspector General of Police and asked just one question: where is Anini? That one sentence became famous across Nigeria. But guess what? No king rules forever. So on December 3rd, 1986, Anini ran out of luck, not from a bullet or from bank, but from betrayal. His girlfriend at the time, under police pressure, gave up his location. Anini was found in a home in Benin, asleep, relaxed, and unharmed. But when the police stormed in, he quickly ran to get his gun, but officers shot him in the leg, causing a serious injury that shatters his bone. He was arrested alive but broken. The same man who once walked with pride was now being wheeled around with both legs amputated. Anini was paraded before the media. People rushed to see the man who has made their life a living hell. And during interrogation, Anini confessed to many crimes and even named police officers who were on his payroll. His trial was short, tense, and heavily guarded. The evidence was overwhelming. The public was furious. Anini, along with some of his gang members, including Monday Osubo, were sentenced to death by firing squad. And on March 29, 1987, at a public execution ground in Benin City, Lawrence Anini was brought out. His body was already weak, legs gone, and so defeated. He didn't cry, he didn't speak, as thousands watched as he was shot. The same city who had been living in fear can now breathe again. Even after his death, Anini's story never died. Some saw him as a criminal genius, while others saw him as a product of corruption. A man who exposed how weak and rotten the system truly was. And today, his name lives in books, in songs, and in documentary, and in every parent's warning to their children: don't end up like Anini. Because no matter how high evil rises, it always ends in one way: blood, silence, and dust. And this is a true crime story by Ayodeji. And until the truth is told, we'll keep digging. Don't forget to like, to share and to comment. I Prime. I'll see you guys on the next one.